One of the good things about living in Canada is so far, knock on wood, if you have kids and you send them to school, you don't have to tell them what to do in case a bad man shows up. Like I haven't heard of that scenario yet, right? Like a school getting shot up in Canada. I haven't heard of it yet. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But Texas, how many kids died? What was it? 14 children? 14.
19 children and two adults.
Excuse me. Let's clarify. 19 elementary children. I don't understand. They said that the guy was bullied at his high school, right? Because he was poor and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I don't condone shooting up a school. Like, I don't condone that. But why did you take the issues that you were having with the bullies from the high school? Why did you take that out on the elementary kids? I don't understand that.
There's he listen. You really feel like there was going to be a justified reason for this, for a teenager to attack defenseless children while they're in school? There's no reason. Whatever reason that he gives is going to be crazy. You know what I mean? The craziest part about this is when it first came out. A lot of people say that they like to, people want to play the race card as quickly as possible. So a lot of people were first to point out that, oh, because this is his name was Salvador Ramos. I like the way they're not putting that in every article that they post as well, but his name was Salvador Ramos, obviously not a white guy. And it just so happens that this was the shooter who was killed by the cops. And people want to say, oh, wow, when it's a white person, listen, all of them should have been fucking killed. All of them should have been fucking killed. This man engaged with the officers first and actually hit a few before he was fatally killed. So he chose to engage with the officers. The other dumb pussies, they're such big cowards that when the police show up, then they don't want to do nothing. They put everything down. They're cool. They're calm. I'm okay now. Now I don't have no problems. After they've shot elderly people at a supermarket, Asian people at a theater, or if they want to go out to an elementary school and shoot kids, man. This is something where it's the problem with America, besides the fact that your gun laws are so open and you should have so many other standards before somebody's able to purchase a gun. The fact that we're talking about this story so soon after the last one, where that guy was able to buy guns after making threats to shoot up his own high school, he was able to get 3 guns. Here we are, not even what, 10 days later, a few days later,
Yeah, it's
talking
days.
about talking about another shooting. Like this problem is going to go somewhere. And the thing about it is that the problem, people want to say that the gun laws are the problem. You know what I think the real problem is?
Rap.
Hate.
Oh, I
Hate.
thought you were gonna say
Hate.
rap.
No. Well, no, hate. Hate. Hate is something that is taught. Hate is something that is passed on among generations, and hate is something that is held on to for a long time. We've all held our own grudges against people and all of those things, so we know what it's like, even if you're not racist, to hold hate within yourself. The problem with America is there's no legislation, there's no rules, there's no laws when it comes to these type of crimes. Is straight for hate, and I feel that if it is proven in court that it is a hate crime, that there should be harsher penalties for that. That's where I start off. I mean, I got more to say, but I gotta let you talk because this gets me heated and emotional. I'm gonna let you talk though.
I mean, what more can I say? Um, uh, that I'm not gonna say the next time this happens and the time after that and so on and so forth. America obviously has a problem that they're not interested in solving. And a lot of people will say, oh, how do you solve that problem? How do you solve, kids shooting up schools? Like, how do you fix that? Well, um, how about this one, Johnny? When somebody tries to get into a strip club, what do? You ID them. They have to be a certain age. Somebody wants a driver's license, have to be a certain age, and so on and so forth. There's no leeway there, right? So
Right.
obviously there is you have to be a certain age to buy a gun, but I just think there needs to be more to meeting an age requirement. Like, I don't know, maybe make them take a psych test, some sort of evaluation before, like check references, follow
Right.
up on those references. In other words, make it hard to get a gun. Like, don't make it so easy to get a gun. Like, that's really all it is. But they don't want to do that because it's one of their rights, and they hold that right very, very dearly. And I don't want to stray away from the point, like what I made earlier. I don't advocate mass shootings. Obviously, I'm not a psycho. But why, bro? That's like you are bullying me on a day-to-day basis, and then I go to the playground and I punch out some kids because I'm getting bullied by. Why would I do that? If I'm gonna exact my revenge, wouldn't it be on the person who is bullying me?
But that's what a coward does. That's what a coward does. You don't face your attacker. You pursue something that you know or you believe in your mind that you can defeat. And that in your mind gives you that small gratification. This is the extreme case. You know, if you want a hot take from me, I'll give you a hot take from me. This could even be the title. The problem with America and the reason for these mass shootings is not the gun laws. That's what everybody's saying the problem is. It's not the gun laws. See, y'all are sitting back waiting for this country that was created from racism. Your constitution, your all your charters, all that shit was written by racist men trying to make the country better for other racist men. And y'all still live by those same laws that those people put in place. And here we are in 2022, and you're sitting here expecting that these men who are still in power because of these laws are going to really care about these issues. See, Black people, we are too forgiving. We're too nice. We are. And we have a short attention span. These are two combinations of things that have allowed this to carry on for so long. See, the short attention span allows us to latch on to something as long as it's trending. But as soon as it's not trending, we don't care because we got to go on with our days. That's why places like BLM were able to get $90 million in donations, because people are sitting there saying to themselves, I can't go to these protests. I don't have time to do all this fighting in the real world. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to toss my $50 BLM's way. Then I feel better about myself for the week. The problem is that we are sitting back forgiving, which is the other side now, every time something like this happens. It's happened to multiple people that we've seen on camera. And like I said, we continue to forgive. Even if the officers don't get charged, the light leniency charges that they do get, we don't say nothing. Derek Chauvin, I haven't heard nothing about him in the news forever, but that's the media. I blame the Black people for not putting a light on that. Why are we not talking about him anymore? Has he been sentenced yet? How long has he been sentenced for? Does anybody know? Do you know watching? If you don't, ask yourself why. There's so many issues with America, but the gun laws are not the main one. It's the hate is allowed to perpetuate because of the country that you've allowed people to build. And until Black people really take this shit seriously, and until minorities, which are the majority, really take this shit seriously, you're going to be sitting there all day asking questions until you die. I'm sorry.
I think that Derek Chauvin sentencing, I think he actually only got like 17 years, bro. Like something light.
Yeah, I heard it was like 20 something.
Yeah, like
they tried to appeal it. They tried to appeal it or something, but it was nothing. It was nothing crazy. There's people in jail right now doing Derek Chauvin time for drugs. So I'll just lay that out there for people.
And just clarity
that weren't on camera.
18 elementary children, 3 adults. But yeah, anyway.
People say the family should get punished for it. No, stop this, man. You guys are deflecting your blame. You're trying to make it individualistic to where the family and the parents are the problem and how the child is raised is the problem. And y'all act like the internet doesn't exist. Like these kids, like their parents, his parents could be perfectly fine, right? But he could go to school, hang out with certain type of people. He could be on the internet reading certain type of things that are readily available that might switch his and make him a radicalist in his mind, or whatever reason that he came up with for the dumb shit that he did. This is dumb. This is dumb, and it's going to continue.
I told you, man, he got bullied.
It's going to like
like he got bullied. And that's that. Listen, man.
I don't mean to laugh at that, man, but come on, man. Come on.
Listen, RIP.
I got a wedgie once in grade 9. Should I have showed up with a 9 milli?
Well, that's the
for the
great thing.
wedgie.
That's the great thing about Canada. You wouldn't have been able to do that so easily.
I mean, depends on the area.
Even in the area, the
Access
big
is the
no, even
access
in
is the
let me
first
tell you
key.
something. Let me tell you something. Even in the area, the big homies will be like, "What do you want that for? What are you going to do with that?" The big homies will press you more than the actual legal establishment where you're going to buy the gun.
This is back
Because,
in our days when there were big homies.
well, I'm just saying, because
This is back in our days when there
because
were big
because if
homies.
you use that gun that you got for the like, that's going to go back to them. Like, so they'll be, you know, like, look at
I
me.
know, but I'm saying that mentality that you have right there is smart. It is the big homie mentality, but that obviously doesn't exist, especially where we're from now. Let's not get into that. That's a whole different topic, though. But
Well,
that's what I mean. The guns aren't the guns is not, once again, the situation where the guns isn't the problem. The people are the problem.
I've been saying that. That's why I'm not. Anyways, being public, what are your thoughts on this? RIP condolences. Man, this is just a sad, sad story. It's not surprising, but what just makes it more sad is that it happened to kids, man. Like
Bro, they just went
elementary.
to school. They went to school. That's what they did.
That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? That's what you're
And
supposed to do. This to me is like right up there with like the well, they're all sad, but this is like right up there with the people that just went to church, the people that just went grocery shopping. Like these
just
kids
the
just
levels that these people are willing
went
to
to
go to.
school, man. Like, what are you?
They're these guys are driving hundreds of miles. This guy, they said he had full body armor protection on. He had to get there in one way or another. Did he drive? Did he walk? It doesn't matter. If he had full body armor on, that's the most uncomfortable drive or walk ever. You know what I'm like? Picture that. Full body armor. You have to get there somehow. And to discomfort yourself or to inconvenience yourself and drive hundreds of miles, dog. The effort, the effort is a direct link to the level of hatred. And that hate is not just something that's brand new. Stop allowing your country, minorities, stop allowing your country to just let this slide continuously. And you watching, if you're a minority, stop sitting at home and complaining about it if you ain't done shit. Because the speeches that the president is giving in response to this, who is that helping? Who is that helping? You are the leader of the free world. We have a black vice president. She is not saying anything about this. Nothing is being done. Your government is a joke. Your government is a joke, and I'm here laughing because this shit's gonna continue until you guys try to do something, because it's not until the people speak out in mass form that shit starts to change. As much as BLM as a movement didn't really do much for me as a person, it did bring a lot of change to the world and what we see in front of our eyes now. So